crackdown on crime and homeless encampments in the city, perhaps his first salvo into a takeover attempt. Clearly, the city is in for a wild ride, but this is not Mayor Bowser's first rodeo. She's been held elected office since 2004, first as an advisory neighborhood commissioner, and then as a member of the DC Council. She was elected mayor in 2015, and is only the second person to be elected 3 times as DC mayor. During her tenure, she's led the city through the COVID-19 pandemic, racial justice protests, and the events of January 6th. But she says her best job is just being a mom to her daughter, Miranda. Please join me in welcoming, giving a warm National Press Club welcome to Washington, D.C.'s Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Thank you.
If it's lame, to cut it off. I just want to see if she's going to, what she's going to say.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. I've been in this building a million times. I've not been in this room.
In this room? Welcome to the...
No, I take that back. I think I gave my first press conference after winning the primary in 2014, maybe in this room.
In this room. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I did.
Fun memories. So I wanted to start by talking a little bit about home rule. So DC has had home rule since 1973 and fought hard to win it. As I mentioned in the introduction, President Trump mentioned many times, including this week, that he wants to take over Washington, D.C. Can you talk a little bit about, why home rule is important to D.C. and what's the case for keeping home rule?
Well, the case that we actually make is for D.C. becoming the 51st state. I know there's been a lot of talk about someplace else becoming the 51st state, but we are going to be the 51st state because what it means is the discussion you've had about whether a president or a couple of members of Congress can take over our limited self-determination is because we don't enjoy the same rights as American citizens, but we are the same as American citizens. We pay taxes more than most, more per capita than any place in America. We're larger than 2 states. We're literally down the street from the Congress, but we have no representation. So the case that DC residents, not to tell you that your question wasn't the right question, but the question for us is how do we maintain the pathway to the 51st state, and why not? We're Americans, we pay taxes, we go to war, we have all of the responsibilities of citizenship, but we don't have all of the rights. And the unfortunate answer is it has come down to partisanship. And we don't regard DC being added as the 51st state as a partisan issue, but it is an issue of how to make our democracy more perfect. So in talking about home rule, what it means basically is that we elect local officials, we pass our laws, we have our own budget, that's sometimes a misconception out there in the world. We take care of ourselves, and we do so, as I said, and we give more to the federal government than we get back. And so making sure that we adhere to the principles that so many people believe in, the government should be closest to the people. That's why home rule is important to us.
So President Trump's expected to sign an executive order that would give the federal government more power in D.C. Do you think the federal government has the right to do this? Do you see this as President Trump's first move in an ultimate endgame to, as he says, take over D.C.? And how does D.C. protect itself from federal encroachment?
I think there's been a lot of speculation about that, and mostly among your colleagues here, but I don't know that that's the case. Certainly, the president has executive powers, and we've seen that he has issued a lot of executive orders. Some of them have been disputed. Some of them are being argued right now. But I think what the approach that we have taken with the White House is to identify those things that we share. What are our shared priorities? The president is very focused on making our nation's capital the most beautiful capital in the world. And it turns out That's our focus too. And in Washington, D.C., unlike some places, the federal government actually has a role in doing that, an oversized role in doing that. So there's some things like national parks that, when your city is small as ours, how the national parks operate is a very big deal. There's been the issue of the return of federal employees to in-person work. Now, we didn't argue for in-person work going with mass firings, which is going to have an impact certainly on Americans in all 50 states in Washington, D.C. And the federal government does have a role in public safety in the district, unlike most places, because they're a big part of our criminal justice system, including judges and including prosecutors. So there are things that we can work on together.
The Washington Post has reported that this executive order would be focused on crime and quality of life issues like graffiti and homeless encampments. After you met with then President-elect Trump at Mar-a-Lago, you expressed a willingness to work with the president on issues of mutual concern, including beautifying the city. Are these the issues that you discussed? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Once again, I can't speak to an executive order that I'm not sure exists or will be issued. So I'll say that. But I will say that, yeah, we talked about beautification issues and we talked about public safety. But let me say this about public safety. What I was able to report to the president was that he, I believed, had the picture in his mind of COVID era Washington, D.C., because that's the Washington, D.C. he left. And we did have some impacts of COVID closures on both public safety and homelessness. And so I wanted to make clear that the Washington that he has returned to is coming back from COVID era impacts. So I developed a comeback plan, which is our 5-year economic development strategy that has a lot of investments in the downtown, for example, how we bring more residents, how we bring more activity and vitality to the downtown, and the federal workforce is a big part of that. I've always believed that President Trump viewed Washington from the eyes of a developer. And that was kind of how we approached him in his first term. It turns out that he didn't get that involved in real estate, but I think they are more interested in that in this turn. So we are looking for ways that investments can be made in our national parks and in underutilized federal buildings with the government as well.
I want to ask you a little bit about the federal workforce in just a second here. But as you know, we take questions from the audience. So national field producer for Fox News, James Levinson, sent in the following question. In the president's comments on taking over D.C. government, he cited issues with crime and corruption as his argument of why he needs to step in. Just yesterday, there was a bribery indictment of a former deputy director of ONSE. The D.C. Council also expelled Trayon White on bribery accusations weeks ago. Are you worried that there's an underlying corruption problem in certain parts of the D.C. government?
I'm not, and this is why I say that. Our system worked the way it was supposed to in both of the cases that you mentioned. We have, and actually I authored when I was a member of the council, a pretty comprehensive and wide-ranging ethics reform law that allows the council to expel a member for the type of conduct that the indictment indicates. That hadn't been the case 10 years before that. We would have had a official linger until the criminal justice process had run its course. So we have very, very high standards for conduct. I am proud to lead a incredible workforce. This workforce has stood up for DC during COVID, during snowstorms. In January, we had 3 national special security events, 2 snowstorms. We had an inaugural ceremony that changed I think, the Thursday before the Monday of the inauguration. And so all of these activities were supported by public servants. Our public servants, especially our police department, has also led to a historic decrease in crime that we experienced in 2024. The previous year had been a tough year for us, admittedly, and we worked very hard to change what I thought, in some cases, were COVID-era policies that went into effect that affected the very fragile balance of a public safety ecosystem in Washington. We worked with the council to really reset the laws. And in my view, we had to get a better focus on accountability for violent crime. And we've been able to do that. And we're seeing the impacts of that. So, but those are all our police officers that go to work every single day. Our teachers have been incredible. We just got our kind of the national report card scores, and we see DC public schools outpacing urban school districts around the country. And those are our teachers who are going in classrooms and really moving kids in reading and math. So we're proud of the work of our workforce. But having said that, people know that they have to follow the rules, and if they don't, then there are very real consequences.
Since the pandemic and work from home options, the downtown area has been a bit of a ghost town. President Trump has now ordered the federal workforce back to their offices, as you mentioned. And at the same time, Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency are eviscerating the federal workforce. What do you see as the impact of these two dueling orders, and what has President Trump told you about his federal workforce plans? And then to follow up on that, do you have any plans for a sort of revitalization of downtown DC?
Yes. So the president and I are, I think, simpatico on the return to the office, and the discussion that I have been having around the region, not just DC, is that we need to make the case for why these federal jobs and federal activity are best supported. The infrastructure here best supports that work, and that's what we do. When we talk about the federal government, let me be clear. Not all federal workers are in Washington, D.C. They're all over the country. I think you've heard some of the stories even about national parks workers and CDC workers. And so these are federal workers all across the country. I think we have in this region close to 400,000 federal workers. Is that right? We have one? No, close to 600,000 federal workers. And about a third of those, or a little bit more than a third, are located in Washington, D.C. About 70,000 of them are D.C. residents of our 703,000 people. So it's a huge impact to have people's jobs affected. And so our really focus is on making sure we're being supportive of our residents and calling on the government to not use a chainsaw, but figure out which jobs we need and which jobs we don't. And that can be done in a orderly way and in a humane way.
Oh, amen.
Let me just follow up on that question quickly with another question from the audience here. Associated Press reporter Ashraf Khalil sends in the following question. What do you expect the economic impact to be on the D.C. region for the, as you mentioned, thousands of federal workers who are losing their jobs right now in terms of things like unemployment rates, the job market, the healthcare marketplace? And when do you think that wave will hit the system, and are you prepared for it?
Well, it's beginning to hit the system, and I expect probably next week to start talking to our community in a comprehensive way about what we see the impacts as. So far, I think what we've seen hit our unemployment system is expected when there is a change of administration, especially when it's a different party. So that's what we're seeing right now. But we know that over the next months, more and more people will be impacted. Now, the thing that we will we'll need the White House and the president's cabinet is to work with all of us about how unemployment, with the separations that they're making, will work for government workers.
I want to pivot. I want to ask a little bit about crime in D.C. The D.C. Police Union has said that the force is staffed at dangerously low levels, the lowest number, they say, in 50 years. When 3 police officers were shot last month, they pointed to this as a risk to an overburdened police force. What efforts are you taking to recruit more officers in Washington, D.C., and how do you ensure that violent crime doesn't rise if the police ranks continue to shrink?
Well, we put enough officers on the street, but unfortunately, we do it in a less ideal way. That's why if you're a budget wonk like I am, we have higher overtime numbers than is efficient. But we have to do that to make sure we have the shifts and the people on the street that we need. So we are, and as long as I've been mayor, have funded our department at a level that allows us to hire the maximum number of people at a given time. I won't go into the kind of sordid history in the couple of years that we weren't able to hire, but with attrition and with a couple of years of disruption, you can see your numbers go down. Our plan is to get back to 4,000 officers. I believe our police chief believes that we need to be between 3,800 and 4,000 officers. Now, keep in mind that we're not just a city, we're a city, county, state, and we support the federal government in large-scale events. So our force per capita may be bigger than some cities of our size, but that's what we need.
National Press Club member and writer for Bloomberg City Lab, Linda Poon, sends in this question. The top criminal prosecutor in the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office just stepped down after refusing to follow a directive from the interim U.S. Attorney, Ed Martin. Are you concerned that these conflicts could affect the U.S. Attorney's Office's ability to prosecute crimes that are committed in Washington, D.C.?
Well, I think that this is what, and this is a conversation I had with the president about, again, a U.S. attorney is not elected, not appointed by the mayor, not accountable to local officials or taxpayers. So that is a position that either comes from the president or the attorney general at that appointment. So it is very important to us that the U.S. attorney focuses on violent criminals, on people who use guns, and on repeat offenders, and take hard cases to trial. And sometimes we see out of prosecutors, if it's not a slam dunk, they don't want to proceed. But we need to send a strong message that if you use a gun in the district,
donated $49.99 through Super Chat.
Thank you so much, Island.
These are the same Democrats that supported Obama cutting the military force in half in 2014. We got told the day before Christmas break. On my base alone, 87 troops unalived themselves.
Wow, I didn't know that. On my base alone, 87 troops unalived themselves. Holy crap. Thank you again for your service, too. Julie, I see you in the chat. Hey, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm picking up Maddie later today. Or actually, I think Nat might be, actually. But I think we're going to be streaming. But yeah, I'm excited to, I'll tell her later you said hi. This is not what I thought it was going to be, this press thing. I thought maybe she was going to go hard, but it seems like she's trying to be nice and play nice, maybe. Since Trump's running it, Trump's in charge. I'm setting up a live stream for this afternoon. We'll do that to just catch a glimpse of some people's hero, Luigi.
His headquarters.
Hey, Alan, you ever watch that guy? What's the Reapers? The sniper, the Reaper. I think his name is Irving something. The Reaper, sniper. His stories are really crazy. I thought his name was like Irving. Oh, Nicholas Irving. Crazy stuff.
We have another idea that we're going to pitch to the president because we believe that camera system works to help us fight crime, especially when we're rebuilding the numbers of people we have as crime fighters. And we think that will be a very important project for downtown Washington.
I want to ask a little bit about the RFK Stadium site. So you said last week you want the Washington Commanders to make the RFK Stadium site their new home. Why do you think that's the best use of that site, and what are you willing to do to entice them to relocate there? Are you talking about, tax breaks? Can you just expand on what you're thinking there?
Sure. Well, it was longer than last week that I've said it. I've said it since, I've said it for a long time, since before I was mayor, I'm sure. And for people who are not familiar with this site, it is 177 acres. It's on the banks of the Anacostia River. It is the former home of the Washington football team. It currently has the former stadium, RFK.
Wow,
that has,
check this out. Oh my gosh. All right, this lady, she's kind of boring. Video spotted. And by the way, I saw a billboard too. Video spotted outside of New York City courthouse. Luigi, look at this, the truck. It takes guts. Corporate greed won't stop. SoLuigi.com. That's happening later today. We're going to go live. I set up for 1:30 p.m. Eastern. I may shift it depending whatever happens, maybe earlier or whatever, but 1:30 p.m. Eastern. That's wild. He has a lot of support. Look, the Saint Luigi. And he has I saw somewhere, some article too, that he has a billboard. Saint Luigi. There was another thing. Oh god. Bruh, the stories are endless. The stories are endless. Brazil plane forced to land after bird strike. Nose totally smashed in. A bird did that. What kind of mutated bird is that? It was forced to make an emergency landing. Photos of the Airbus A321 has been released with a massive hole marring the front of the aircraft. Alongside the dent is a huge hole exposing the interior of the aircraft. Wow. All caused by one bird, officials say. Airlines plane hit a bird shortly after takeoff from Brazil's Galeão Airport in Rio de Janeiro, heading for Sao Paulo Thursday morning. It forced them to turn back immediately. Delta flight from Indianapolis. Oh, this is the Toronto. Yeah, we saw that already. Just another bird incident, another plane incident. Oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Let's see. Elon Musk. Elon Musk responds to questions about AI killing off humans.
Kill us all? Is AI going to kill us all, Mr. Musk?
I hope not.
What do you strike me?
I think
do you feel like the government can protect us from artificial intelligence?
You should think of the future as a series of probabilities as opposed to certainties. There is some chance that above zero that AI will kill us all. I think it's low, but there's some chance. I think we should also consider the fragility of human civilization. And if you study history, I think you realize that there's a rise and fall to every civilization. Every civilization has sort of a lifespan. So we want ours to last as long as possible.
Okay, thank you.
All
Do you
right,
feel
thank
like
you.
the government has been weaponized against you and your
I
company?
need everyone to step onto the sidewalk.
Well, now apparently they have this new Aleph Aeronautics releases footage of their electric car jumping over another car on the road in California. The company claims this is the first test in history of a car drive and vertical takeoff in a city. The company hopes to solve traffic by developing a car that can simply fly over it. I could see so many problems happening with that. Let's take a look. Hold on. See. I don't even look real. It looks like some type of animated CGI. So the car takes off. It's flying. Ah, no sound. Beep beep doop beep. Beep beep boop bop. You see that being a mess. Imagine police chases. New state-of-the-art police chases.
Purple heart, purple heart.
Hey, Chaos, thank you so much. Oh, I got to send you a picture of the plant. It looks really good. There's flowers coming in. Even though the weather's kind of cool today, but... forcibly removed from New York City Council after calling them out for putting illegals in hotels. Check that out. Alex Stein.
My name's Alex Stein. I just want to say thank you to the council for having this, but let's just be honest. I mean, this is just an exercise in some sort of weird virtue signal where you want to act like you care about veterans when in reality you don't care about veterans. We're sitting here, we're talking about fluorescent lighting inside of a homeless shelter, right? But let's talk about the thousands of illegal immigrants that get to live in Manhattan rent-free for months on end. And not only that, when they get the free food, we spend millions of dollars on the food. And you know what they say? We don't like this food. This food is not typical to what we eat in Venezuela. So you know what New York City's going to do? New York City's going to go and we're going to spend millions of dollars to give these illegal immigrants gift cards while veterans are out here literally freezing on the streets right now. So we're talking about a homeless shelter for some veterans when if I say that I'm an asylum seeker, if I'm a terrorist from Venezuela and I was a Tren de Arruga gang member and I said I'm coming here to claim asylum because this is such a great sanctuary city, you're going to give me a free hotel in Manhattan, but a person that goes to Iraq and defends our country against the actual Taliban, they don't get any social services, or if they do get social services, it's not a 4-star hotel in the middle of Manhattan. I don't it's boarding in the middle of Manhattan at a 4-star establishment. I don't think so. So why do illegal immigrants in New York City get better conditions than our veterans who go out there and risk their lives for American citizens? Not just do they risk their lives for New Yorkers, they risk their lives for everybody in this country. And believe it or not, these veterans risk their lives for these illegal immigrants that get to take advantage of New York social services. So you want to sit here, you want to act like you want to help somebody. Why don't you do something about all the people taking advantage of this city, the hardworking American citizens that are struggling, but you don't care about them. You'd rather give an illegal immigrant that has a criminal history longer than a damn CVS receipt. You'd rather give him...
So this guy, Alex Stein, he's I was about to say this is the most serious I've ever seen this guy because he's I don't know what to describe him as, but I guess he's a reporter or a comedian, or I don't know. He's kind of like satirical. So I was like, this is the most I've ever seen serious. But it's so true. Those CVS, I don't know if they still do that. That shit was sent out so many coupons. I think they stopped that. But it used to pop out so many. I never used them. You had all these rolls of paper in your car and shit. They're just pumping out receipts all the time.
Longer than a damn CVS receipt. You'd rather give him free room and board and a gift card to eat at any New York establishment that he chooses. That is wrong. New York City is it's the epicenter of culture. New York leads the way of our country. So the fact that we have a country like this that is just discarding these veterans and treating them as they are less than a normal citizen, this city should be ashamed of themselves. Mayor Adams should be ashamed of themselves. All the people on these councils should be ashamed of themselves yourselves because you sit here and you say, well, I don't know if I can get it passed. This should be a bipartisan issue. You don't think that veterans help out Republicans and Democrats? This is common sense. So New York City doesn't have common sense. Thank God Donald Trump got rid of that congestion pricing. That has cost me hundreds of dollars in
And they're pissed about that congestion thing that he got rid of it. I think they're trying to bring it back or something.
Uber prices every time I visit this city. So thank God that that is gone. And help out our veterans by kicking every illegal immigrant out of the Roosevelt Hotel, except for the big booty Latinas. They can stay. If you're a 9, you're fine.
Thank you, Alex. Now we have a question for you.
I would actually...
For sure, Christy.
First of all, that you should really apologize. That was an inappropriate comment.
No, it's not. It's not inappropriate at all. I can say big booty. Okay, yeah, according to you.
Yo, after all he said, their concern was the big booty Latina comment. That was the first thing. Forget about the homeless people suffering, all this stuff.
It's the truth.
And
I'm allowed to say booty. I'm allowed to say big booty.
Be a little
and it's
respectful.
funny because in a school you can say booty. There's a much more degrading terms for a derriere than booty. So you want to sit here and act like I'm cussing because I said big booty Latina? You need to wake up. No, you're so sensitive.
First of all, let me tell you something. You need to do your research.
Oh, there it is. Okay, it came out. She's snapping.
You're so sensitive.
First of all, let me tell you something. You need to do your research, okay? Check yourself, okay? You should know your role. You should know who you're speaking to. The people in this veterans community actually give a shit. We've met with Tom Holman. We discussed the migrant crisis, okay?
And why don't you kick them out then? Why am I scared of getting robbed by a bunch of illegal immigrants? So you say
these aren't the same concerns?
Are they all still there? I know, but you politicians are fake.
Cut the mic.
You're fake. You're not even from this city, bro.
Oh, she said bruh. She said bruh.
I work in the city. It's funny because I work in the city.
They're taking him out.
I'm walking out. Guys, get off. I work in the city. Get off my arm.
Damn, we got escorted out.
Got the body cam for your...
It's not a problem, sir.
Get off me.
Sir, please enter the elevator.
Get off my
Sir, enter the elevator. No one's touching you. No one's touching you.
You know what you're trying to do?
No one's touching you, sir.
I know, but listen.
Fine. You can play your game all
Yeah, but you're trying to step on my foot. You're trying to be so slick. You're trying to be...
When
When I walked in the elevator, so quit trying to play stupid. I know you are stupid, but why don't you try to play like you're smart for 5 seconds?
5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Trying to touch me. Listen.
Is there anything else?
Yeah.
It's very original.
It's pathetic. Yeah, hey, go do what you need to do. Go step and fetch some more.
Damn. Well, the bodyguard was being nice to him. I mean, I don't know. That was crazy, though. Wow. Doge. I wonder if Elon ever got back to Grimes. Did he reply back to her? I was thinking about that last night after I got off stream. Like, she said that the child is having, I don't know what the child's medical emergency is, right? I don't know what that is, but my thought would be, okay, we'll take the child to the hospital, I mean, it sucks that he's not responding. I get that. It's got to be frustrating, I get, but like, at the same time, what is he going to do? Besides, get on an airplane and get there. What else is he going to do? I was like thinking, like, are all these baby mothers coming out now because what? I don't know. He's in the White House and doing all this stuff. I mean, he should be there. I don't understand how you could be in all those kids' lives. It's got to be really difficult having all those kids to be able to be there, and not just financially. I'm sure the finances are covered, but at the same time, I was thinking, like, if it was my kid, you know what I'm saying, and there's a medical thing, I just take the kid to the hospital. I get my daughter. Of course, I let her mother know. And whether she answers or not, whatever, I'm going to take care of what I need to take care of. But I don't know. I don't know. They obviously have more problems because she said something about he hasn't attended the meetings or whatever they're supposed to attend. Not replying to the messages. Damn. That was dirty. DC teen snatches Canada Goose coat from Metro rider on train. They just took this guy's jacket. See?
Give it out, man. Give it out. Next time I'm crush your bitch ass. I wasn't snitching. Next time I'm crush you. Dude, I wasn't snitching.
Snitching? jacket. Wants his jacket back. I don't know if he really had a gun on him or not. You never know. Or a knife or whatever. What happened? Oh, this is so funny. This guy, I don't know what part of the video this is, but
I can't work many hours because of my anxiety.
You have anxiety?
Yes, I do.
What causes anxiety for you?
Lots of things.
Like what, for an example?
Anything that doesn't agree with me, basically, or see things the way I do, and see the good in things. That I just think that society is lost and just a bunch of hateful bullies.
He's turning you into a woman.
I am not a woman, Jesse.
Yeah, you act like one because you're afraid. You're beta.
No, you're a beta.
No. You're a beta, Michael.
No,
beta.
You are a beta. I am a normal man. You're a beta man.
No, you're not normal. I could think of many words to call you. Normal is not one.
I'm putting this on the bully list.
that guy's an actor, by the way. I think the guy at the bottom. They did a full podcast, though. It was pretty funny. Oh, this lady was really pissed off yesterday. This lady, I don't know what happened with her. I don't know who this is. I was just scrolling and it randomly popped up. And she was crying yesterday because she was invited to the Trump thing, the Black History thing I covered yesterday. But then at some point, I guess it got revoked.
Somebody said, girl, you're not black. I would like to test that theory. Hold on. No, I don't think I'm black. No, it don't match my skin.
Jesus.
Now, this wouldn't make a good foundation.
Oh, my God.
You know what? Y'all might be right. I ain't a color. I'm human.
She made some posts yesterday. Let me see if it's still up. I guess she looked like she's doing better today, though. She was crying about something. Oh, here.
You know, y'all, I was fine until I got online.
I don't know what happened.
And I see all of these amazing looking black people at the White House. And that shit hit me hard just now. I think I'm done with politics for a while. And I'm shutting down my keepsake organization. All of this stuff, I appreciate all of y'all for giving to my organization and helping me with this. Today I will be delivering it. Well, no, excuse me. Sometime next week I will be delivering this stuff. And after that, I'm done. And I'm serious because I wasn't looking forward to anything. You know, I didn't need other people to see me. I don't need Donald Trump to see me. But to be invited to something and then the invitation was ripped from me at the last minute, that hurts. So I'm literally done with it all. And a lot of people may not understand, and that's fine. But after you put in the work that I put in to be a voice for so many people and to constantly be shitted on, it's a huge disappointment and slap in my.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I guess it got revoked or something. I'm not really sure. Trump is supposed to be speaking at something. President Trump gives remarks at governor's working session. I don't know how he has the energy and he's just everywhere, how he does it. I was talking to my mother about that. Like that guy, especially at his age, he's like non-stop, man. That's like some work ethic. Non-stop to be like that. You know what, man? Something I think is kind of weird. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Lindy Lee. I don't trust her, man. Something about her. I started following her. I follow her Twitter. And she was like, okay, she was very like a Democrat person. Okay. But like up until like Kamala lost, then she just switched. And I've just seen things about her. She did an interview on Piers Morgan, and she did an interview on Laura Loomer. And I don't know, people have just kind of caught her in some inconsistencies. I don't trust that lady. She seems nice, but when I watch her and her mannerisms and her facial interactions, I was trying to find a Piers Morgan one. Okay, maybe it's on her too, unless he deleted it. You see, Lindy Lee. I think she posted it or something. Oh, she went on Laura Trump. Laura Trump interviewed her, and who called it out? I think Laura Loomer. Oh, she changed her replies. You can't even reply to this shit anymore. All right. I think I wonder if because Laura Loomer replied to it, it's like maybe she deleted it or something. She replied to something. Something happened. It must have been deleted. Oh, here it is. He said, "Hi, Linda Lee. I don't think you were subjected to any abuse on the Piers Morgan Uncensored last night, but I do think the grilling we gave you about your political switch went too far." They were grilling her. I guess he deleted his tweet because he was questioning some inconsistency, and she had responded to it, but now I don't even see it anymore. And she only has her replies on, like, I guess you have to follow her. Let me see. Can I even reply? I can. Only accounts that are verified. I don't know what happened, but I don't really trust her. I guess I have to go. I'm trying to maybe give the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know. Let me see real quick to the Representative Crockett on $5,000 aid. What will it do?
President Trump says he likes the idea of giving some of the savings from Doge back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
Listen, he's just telling a lie. He's not the one that had anything to do with the $1,200 refunds that people had during the midst of COVID that was done by a Democratic House and Democratic Senate. Right now, what they're going to do is say, hey, we want to give you a refund, but Congress won't let us because they already know that there's just no money for that. The only reason that those refunds came before was because we were living in different times. This was a time in which hopefully we won't ever go through again. We had a once in a lifetime pandemic. The bad part is that I don't know if it's once in a lifetime because we know that Ebola, unfortunately, was detected right here in New York here recently. And if we continue down this road of getting rid of scientists or deciding that we don't want to rely on experts as it relates to what they're telling us to do, or we don't want to deal with vaccines and medicine in this country, then we may be facing not only our next pandemic, but our next 2, 3, or 4 pandemics because of their incompetence. So no, we are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
Well, a lot of people that'll do a lot for a lot of people. 5,000. I think if they legitimately find a bunch of savings and the way our taxes are being used, I mean, I think a lot of people are not happy with that. If they legitimately find some type of savings and they give some back, that would be kind of cool. Well, sister, 5,000 could certainly help me pay off my medical bill or go into my savings for retirement, etc. I don't think Trump should send us checks, but for Representative Jasmine to think 5,000 can help people is so out of touch. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want them just to hand it out, just to hand out like that, you know? But, like, if they truly go make all these cuts and they're like, this is being done wrong, and we can send this back, or whatever, if they truly find some type of legitimate thing, that's just dope. I'll take her 5,000, or she's very wrong. They're in the business of giving out money. That's true. Just not always to American citizens. That is so true. They're very, very, very much into giving out money all the effing time for condoms and all kinds of shit overseas, all kinds of overseas shit. They're just not in the business of giving it to Americans. That is so true. So true, right? Dear Jasmine Crockett, what the F do you mean 5,000? What's it going to do for anybody? Wow. 5,000, yeah. Yeah, that would be a help for a lot of people. Whether you set some aside or you pay a bill or somebody even said medical bill or whatever. That's crazy. All right, this lady's done. Let me see what else we can just kind of skim. I'm going to go try to do a little cardio for a bit, try to get my steps in. Hooters prepares for bankruptcy. Oh, no. Iconic chain faces financial strain. Wow. Well-known chain restaurant is reportedly in discussions to prepare a potential Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the coming months. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Anything else? I guess that's it for now. DOJ probes United Health for Medicare billing fraud. Interesting. The U.S. Department of Justice has initiated a civil fraud investigation into United Health Group's Medicare billing practices, which is, the Luigi killed the CEO. This scrutiny focuses on how diagnoses were recorded to trigger higher payments for Medicare Advantage plans. Following the announcement, United stock experienced a significant drop, reflecting investor concerns about the potential findings of fraud. Uh-oh. Ooh. Damn. I'm going to bookmark that for later. I'll mention it again later. Okay. Diddy challenge it. Oh, yeah. I should clip that too. Diddy they're saying it's racism while he's being charged and targeted. It's not all these allegations. It's racism. Amazing. Pope Francis is apparently sick and not doing well. He's in the hospital. People are talking about Zelensky. Some people are calling Zelensky a dictator. Elon Musk was challenging him to hold an election. They said he hasn't done elections. He's just canceled the shit. And I think they should. I think they should. And I really wonder what the people of Ukraine, do they really want to keep fighting and going to war? I really hope that they figure out something and end the war over there and come to some type of agreement or whatever. And Piers Morgan didn't like the criticisms that Elon Musk had for Zelensky. He tweeted him earlier. Piers Morgan guest claims that black people can't be racist towards white people, and I totally disagree with that. I think anybody can be racist, and I've seen it all the time.
Ironically, the race baiter was actually the black woman on that panel, Cheryl Underwood, not Sharon Osbourne, and not me. So I'm very glad you raised the issue of race baiting, but let's be clear, as you're doing now, the race baiting came from Cheryl Underwood to Sharon Osbourne, and it's now coming from you. So now you can respond.
Cannot be racist, Piers.
Now you can
Black
respond.
Women cannot be racist to white women. Are you kidding me?
Sorry?
That makes no sense.
Sorry?
Black women cannot be racist to white women. Do you not understand that?
Oh, yes, they can.
You don't have the intellectual
Oh, yes, they can.
to understand that.
Oh, yes, they
But
can.
that's very much
And you've been
impossible.
racist to me.
That's very.
Oh, there you go. It's so funny to me when some of these people think that they're just, they can say and do whatever and they're excluded from this label, which has been so overused and watered down and whatever. But it's just some of the most racist people.
Very much
You've been
impossible.
racist to me, a white man, by saying I'm a race baiter. Yeah.
How am I racist to you? I'm black. I can't be racist
You
to
call
you.
me a race
Are you
baiter
kidding
with
me?
no
You're
evidence.
racist to me.
When have I
You
been
can
a
be
race
racist-
baiter?
You can be racist to me.
When have I been a race baiter?
But I'm a powerhouse.
Tell me, ironically.
This is a dictator. Well said, Douglas Murray. This guy Douglas did some really good reporting though. And the guy's kind of considered a legend. He did really good reporting with Hamas and Israel and on the ground. And 10 other Ukraine war truths we ignore at our peril. Vladimir Putin. All right. Well, I guess that's it for now. I'm going to go try to get a little carbs in. Not carbs. That's what I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to get in some calories. So I'm going to go get a little exercise before we do our stream later. So I have the stream set up for 1:30. It might be flexible, but I think 1:30 we'll jump on for the appearance of Luigi. I mean, the cameras are going to be outside. They're not going to be inside. So it's just catching a glimpse of the guy, you know, walking in and walking out. It's supposed to be brief. It's supposed to be a brief thing. You know, it's not going to be long. So, yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. We'll see what today brings. It's Friday. Friday, the freaks come out. And I'll hit you guys later, right? Thanks. Bye.